Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going. Today we have predictions for 6 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Dallas Mavericks and Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks host the Dallas Mavericks at State Farm Arena on Monday night in what's shaping up to be a fast-paced clash filled with plenty of intrigue. Both squads have something to prove, and the court will be buzzing with key matchups and strategic battles. For the Mavericks, missing Luka Doncic due to a wrist injury hasn't completely derailed them. They recently rattled off an impressive 4-game win streak before a tough overtime loss to the Miami Heat on Sunday. This team has been leaning on a next man up mentality, showing a level of depth that was often questioned in past seasons. Najee Marshall has emerged as a critical contributor, dropping a career-high 26 points in a win over Denver, while P.J. Washington has been a force on the glass and inside, logging 22 points and 13 boards in the same game. Defensively, Dallas has been rock solid, ranking 7th in scoring defense and 6th in field goal defense. Their knack for forcing turnovers and staying efficient on offense has kept them competitive despite Doncic's absence. However, the road gets tougher for Dallas on Monday. Back-to-backs are always challenging, and coming off an overtime thriller against Miami, fatigue could become their biggest adversary. Meanwhile, the Hawks are back home and desperate to bounce back after a tough 1-3 road trip. Defensive struggles have been a glaring issue. Giving up 136 points to the Chicago Bulls was a low point. Atlanta currently sits near the bottom of the league in scoring defense and has the league's worst 3-point defense. If they don't shore up those areas, Dallas' balanced attack could make them pay. Offensively, Atlanta still leans heavily on Trae Young, who posted a double-double with 25 points and 13 assists in their loss to Chicago. Jalen Johnson has also been stepping up, notching 25 points and 13 rebounds in that same game. At home, the Hawks are a different beast, sporting a 4-4 record with stretches of impressive offensive output. This matchup will likely come down to pace and energy. The Hawks will try to crank up the tempo, knowing Dallas may struggle to keep up on tired legs. With Trae Young orchestrating their attack, Atlanta thrives in transition, and they'll look to exploit any defensive lapses the Mavericks show on the second night of a back-to-back. For Dallas, maintaining their defensive identity will be crucial. Slowing down Atlanta's quick-strike offense and forcing turnovers will give them a shot. Role players like Tim Hardaway Jr. and Derrick Jones Jr. will need to step up big time to keep the Mavs competitive. While Dallas has proven they can battle without Doncic, the combination of fatigue and Atlanta's energy on their home floor could tilt this one in favor of the Hawks. Atlanta's inconsistent defense is a concern, but their offensive firepower at home might be too much for a tired Mavs team to handle. I see this game being tightly contested, possibly with some late-game drama, but in the end, I expect the Hawks to edge out a victory. Trae Young should put on a show, and Atlanta's fresher legs and home court advantage might just be the difference in this showdown. The second prediction for today is for a game between the Los Angeles Clippers and Boston Celtics. The Los Angeles Clippers roll into TD Garden to take on the Boston Celtics in a game that promises to be an intense showdown. Both squads are navigating the fatigue of back-to-back matchups, but the Clippers face the added hurdle of a long flight across the country. Meanwhile, the Celtics enjoy the comfort of staying home in Boston, which could prove pivotal in a high-stakes clash. The Clippers are firing on all cylinders, riding a 5-game win streak that includes a commanding victory over the Philadelphia 76ers. They've also taken down powerhouses like the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings, making it clear that this streak isn't built on fluff. What's been driving the surge? Defense. The Clippers have morphed into a defensive juggernaut, holding opponents to just 96.8 points per game over this streak. They're shutting teams down, limiting them to 43% shooting from the field and a frigid 26.9% from downtown. Ivica Zubac has been the unsung hero, controlling the paint with a physical presence that deters easy looks inside. Even with Kawhi Leonard still sidelined and Norman Powell, who's been lighting it up with 23.3 points per game, out of commission, this team has locked in on defense to stay competitive. James Harden has also found his groove, averaging 20.2 points, 9.8 assists, and 5.4 rebounds during the streak. Harden's ability to orchestrate the offense, create for teammates, and hit clutch shots has been key to the Clippers' success. If he keeps playing at this level, LA could make some serious noise, even against a team as stacked as Boston. On the flip side, the Celtics are no strangers to success, riding their own 4-game win streak. They're fresh off a gutsy victory over the Timberwolves, showcasing their resilience in back-to-back games. Boston's offense has been nothing short of lethal, averaging 120.7 points per game, second best in the league. They've carved out a niche as the NBA's most dangerous three-point shooting team, with 47% of their scoring coming from deep. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been lights out, consistently torching defenses with their dynamic scoring and ability to stretch the floor. Defensively, the Celtics complement their high-octane offense with solid stops, allowing just 110.8 points per game. They mix tough perimeter defense with timely interior play, making it hard for opponents to find a rhythm. However, their recent struggles against the spread, 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games, tell a different story. Boston's dominance has inflated betting lines, and they've often failed to deliver for bettors backing them to cover. That's something to keep in mind as they face a Clippers team that has been punching above its weight. Recent history leans slightly toward the Clippers in this rivalry. They've covered the spread in their last 5 games against the Celtics and have won 4 of their previous 6 meetings. Even at TD Garden, Boston has only covered the spread once in their last 5 home games against Los Angeles. The Clippers are also thriving against the spread overall, covering in 5 straight games, while Boston has struggled to meet expectations. This game has all the makings of a nail-biter. While the Celtics have the firepower to blow teams out on any given night, the Clippers' defensive grit and Harden's steady leadership give them a real shot at keeping this game competitive. Boston's reliance on the 3-ball might run into trouble against a Clippers team that's been exceptional at closing out on shooters. Ultimately, I expect the Celtics to pull out a hard-fought win at home, but it won't be a walk in the park. The Clippers' defense is too locked in, and their recent form suggests they'll give Boston all they can handle. If you're betting, I'd lean toward the Clippers covering the spread. This one should go down to the wire, with both teams proving why they're among the league's best right now.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The third prediction for today is for a game between the Portland Trail Blazers and Memphis Grizzlies. When the Memphis Grizzlies and Portland Trail Blazers hit the hardwood, fans can expect a clash of contrasting philosophies. Memphis, armed with one of the league's stingiest defenses, is locking down opponents and rolling through adversity, while Portland is still searching for consistency, especially away from home. With injuries forcing both teams to dig deep into their benches, this matchup becomes a litmus test for depth and adaptability. The Trail Blazers are riding a much-needed boost after grinding out a 104-98 win over the Houston Rockets. Anthony Simons and Shaedon Sharpe combined for 49 points, stepping up in a big way just one night after getting trounced in an NBA Cup matchup. Simons, nursing a sprained right hand, silenced any concerns about his health by drilling clutch buckets in crunch time. Still, Portland's offense has struggled mightily away from the Moda Center. The Blazers haven't cracked 105 points in 5 straight road games and sit near the bottom of the league in offensive efficiency, averaging just 101.9 points per game in hostile territory. Even with a noticeable improvement on defense, holding opponents to 45.9% shooting compared to last season's porous 49%, the Blazers remain inconsistent, especially when matched against stronger squads. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, are thriving despite being shorthanded. Memphis is missing cornerstone Ja Morant and key contributors Marcus Smart and Zach Edey, yet they dismantled the Chicago Bulls 142 to 131 in their last outing. Scottie Pippen Jr. turned back the clock with a performance for the ages, dropping a career-high 30 points and dishing 10 dimes in the same building where his father's jersey hangs in the rafters. Memphis has embraced a gritty, defense-first identity in Morant's absence, and it's paying off in spades. The Grizzlies rank 4th in the league in opponent shooting percentage, holding teams to a stingy 44.5% clip. At home, they've been a juggernaut, ranking 6th in both points scored, 118.4 per game, and defensive rating. Bettors have taken note, as Memphis has covered the spread in 8 of its last 9 contests, including 5 of 6 in the friendly confines of FedEx Forum. Portland's chances in this one are hampered by the absence of Scoot Henderson and DeAndre Ayton, leaving the Blazers with limited firepower against a Memphis defense that knows how to smother opponents. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies are thriving on contributions from their role players, with Pippen Jr. and Jaren Jackson Jr. stepping into the spotlight. The last time these two teams met, Memphis ran Portland off the floor in a 134-89 rout. While a repeat of that blowout is unlikely, the Blazers' scoring woes on the road make it hard to envision a significant turnaround. Memphis' ability to dictate the tempo and force Portland into tough, contested shots should tilt the game heavily in their favor. Given the Grizzlies' home court dominance and the Trail Blazers' inability to generate offense on the road, this game has all the makings of another Memphis statement win. Look for the Grizzlies to control the pace, stifle Portland's offense, and lean on their defensive identity to grind out a win. I'm taking Memphis to cover the 9-point spread and expecting a low-scoring affair, with the total points falling short of the projected line. Memphis continues to prove it can thrive under adversity, and this game should be no exception. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the New York Knicks and Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets square off against the New York Knicks in what promises to be an electrifying clash. Both teams come in with identical records, but their recent paths couldn't be more different. Denver is riding high after dismantling the Los Angeles Lakers in their last game, while New York is licking its wounds following a tough loss to the Utah Jazz. The Knicks started the season aiming for glory under coach Tom Thibodeau. With a stacked lineup featuring Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, and Josh Hart, they flashed potential. A recent 4-game winning streak showcased their firepower, with wins over the Nets, Wizards, and Suns. But consistency has been elusive, and their recent stumble against Utah exposed their weaknesses. Against the Jazz, New York managed to force 18 turnovers while only committing 9 of their own, but it wasn't enough. They were outclassed in shooting, hitting just 39% from the field compared to Utah's 50.6%, and were dominated from deep, allowing a scorching 55.9% from 3 while shooting only 33.3% themselves. The rebounding battle wasn't close either, with Utah pulling down 52 boards to New York's 40. Defensive lapses have been a recurring issue, as the Knicks rank near the bottom of the league in three-pointers allowed and opponent three-point percentage. On the offensive side, New York's efficiency shines. They're second in both field goal and three-point percentage. However, their struggles to transition defensively have left them vulnerable, especially against sharpshooting teams. Denver, on the other hand, is looking to capitalize on their recent momentum. Under coach Michael Malone, they've shown flashes of brilliance but remain inconsistent. Their dominant 127-102 victory over the Lakers was a statement game, fueled by Nikola Jokic's MVP-caliber performance, 34 points, 13 boards, and 8 dimes. With Jokic back in the mix after a brief absence, Denver seems ready to turn up the heat. The supporting cast, including Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and Christian Braun, has been hit or miss, but Denver's offense still ranks among the league's elite in three-point shooting. This is an area they'll look to exploit against a Knicks defense that struggles to guard the perimeter. Coupled with their rebounding prowess and efficient shooting, the Nuggets are a tough out, especially on their home floor. This matchup pits two methodical teams that thrive on offensive efficiency despite their slower pace. All eyes will be on Jokic, whose showdown with Karl Anthony Towns should be a highlight. Jokic thrives in high-stakes matchups, and another near triple-double feels almost inevitable. For the Knicks to hang with Denver, Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby will need to bring their A game. While New York's offensive metrics suggest they can keep up, their defensive vulnerabilities against hot-shooting teams like the Nuggets could be their undoing. The talent level on both rosters suggests fireworks despite their deliberate playing styles. Denver's sharp three-point shooting and dominance on the glass, combined with Jokic's ability to orchestrate, give them a slight edge. Still, the Knicks' scoring ability ensures this will be a back-and-forth battle. Here's the play. The over on 233 total points. Both teams are packed with scoring threats, and the pace of this game should exceed expectations. Fans and bettors alike should gear up for a high-scoring affair that promises plenty of drama. The fifth prediction for today is for a game between the Brooklyn Nets and Golden State Warriors. The Brooklyn Nets are grinding through a tough West Coast swing, now squaring off with the Golden State Warriors after a hard-fought battle with the Sacramento Kings. With back-to-back games on their plate, they'll need to shake off fatigue, tighten up their consistency, and contend with one of the league's top squads this season. Sitting at 7-10, Brooklyn's season has been a roller coaster. Their offense flashes brilliance, but shaky defense and dreadful rebounding often derail their efforts. The Nets rank near the bottom in defensive efficiency and dead last on the boards, a glaring Achilles heel against physical opponents. Offensively, they lean heavily on elite three-point shooting, with nearly the entire roster capable of hitting from deep, aside from Nick Claxton and Ben Simmons. Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson have been the bright spots. While Thomas often provides the spark, Johnson has taken center stage recently, dropping consecutive 30-point games. Still, their offensive fireworks haven't translated to wins, with Brooklyn losing 4 of its last 5. To stay in the mix, the Nets must strike a better balance between their offensive firepower and defensive grit. Golden State, meanwhile, is rolling. At 12-4, the Warriors sit atop the Western Conference, winning 12 of their last 16 contests. Even after a surprising slip against the Spurs, they remain the gold standard in the West. The Warriors thrive on balance and team chemistry. Steph Curry continues to be their engine, with Draymond Green doing it all, crashing the glass, dishing out dimes, and hitting clutch buckets. Andrew Wiggins and Buddy Hield add depth, with Hield's sharpshooting from 3 becoming a game-changer off the bench. Golden State pairs its offensive fireworks with a smothering defense, ranking near the top in defensive efficiency while holding opponents to just over 108 points a night. Rest advantage, the Warriors have a clear edge here, playing at home with an extra day of rest. The Nets, on the second leg of a back-to-back, have historically struggled in this scenario. Rebounding and defense. Brooklyn's rebounding woes could spell disaster against a Warriors squad that controls the glass and brings relentless defensive energy. If the Nets can't find a way to compete on the boards, they'll have a hard time staying in this one. Betting trends, the Warriors are favorites, but their struggles with covering double-digit spreads, missing 5 of their last 6, make this an intriguing matchup. Brooklyn, despite its record, has been a bettor's dream at 11-5-1 against the spread. For the Nets to pull an upset, they'll need to slow the game down and force the Warriors into half-court sets. Controlling turnovers and competing on the glass are musts. Cam Thomas needs to reassert himself as the offensive leader, while Johnson continues to provide that secondary scoring punch. Golden State, on the other hand, will aim to leverage their depth and defensive intensity. If they dictate the tempo and force the Nets into mistakes, this could turn into a runaway win for the home team. While the Warriors are the superior squad and have the rest edge, the Nets' resilience against the spread can't be ignored. Golden State has had mixed success covering large spreads, and Brooklyn's scrappy nature might keep this one closer than expected. The Warriors are likely to take the W, but don't be surprised if the Nets fight hard and cover. This one should showcase each team's highs and lows in a competitive showdown. The sixth prediction for today is for a game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Sacramento Kings. The Oklahoma City Thunder and Sacramento Kings square off in what promises to be an intriguing Western Conference battle. These teams bring different vibes into the contest, OKC riding high after a gritty win over Portland, while Sacramento stumbles into the game on a 3-game losing streak. Let's break down the key elements shaping this matchup. The Thunder have been one of the league's most exciting up-and-coming squads, sporting a strong 12-4 record. Their 109-99 victory against the Blazers wasn't flashy, but it showed off their defensive chops. OKC forced Portland into a whopping 24 turnovers and held them to a chilly 40.5% shooting. That defensive grind came in handy on a night when the Thunder themselves shot just 44% from the field and struggled from deep, hitting only 29%. Jalen Williams stepped up big with 30 points, backed by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's steady 28 and Isaiah Hartenstein's hustle-fueled double-double, grabbing 14 boards to go with his 13 points. But here's the rub, OKC hasn't been as sharp on the road. They've dropped their last 2 road games and haven't covered the spread in their last 3 outings. Making things tougher, Chet Holmgren remains out with a hit the shoe, leaving a noticeable gap in their interior defense. His absence is especially concerning against a bruiser like Domantas Sabonis, who's tearing it up on the boards as the league's second leading rebounder. For the Kings, things have been rocky. Their latest setback, a 108-103 loss to Brooklyn, highlighted their offensive inconsistencies. Even with De'Aaron Fox dropping 31 and Keegan Murray adding 21, Sacramento sputtered in the fourth quarter, managing just 15 points. Cold shooting has been a theme, with the team hitting only 36% from 3 and an ugly 64.5% from the charity stripe during the skid. The Kings, who usually put up a respectable 115.1 points per game, have seen that dip dramatically to just 99.7 points during their current slump. And while Golden One Center is typically a tough place for opponents, Sacramento's 4-5 home record doesn't scream dominance. To add to their troubles, Malik Monk's ankle injury leaves their bench thinner and their scoring options fewer. This one looks like a battle of contrasting strengths. OKC's defense has been stellar, ranking second in points allowed, and their ability to pressure the ball and disrupt opposing offenses could throw Sacramento out of sync. With Fox carrying a heavy load, the Kings' offensive rhythm might be tough to find. On the flip side, Gilgeous-Alexander and Williams will have their chances to pick apart Sacramento's middle-of-the-pack defense, which ranks 15th in points allowed. Sacramento also faces the dreaded second night of a back-to-back, a spot where they've struggled in the past. Last season, they were just 7-12 against the spread in games with no rest, a trend that could work against them here, especially against a well-rested Thunder squad. OKC has shown they know how to take advantage of such opportunities. With all these factors in play, this game feels like it could turn into a grind. Both teams have leaned toward hitting the under on total points in recent outings, and Sacramento's offensive woes align with OKC's defensive prowess. The pace could slow down, with neither team lighting up the scoreboard. My call? I'm leaning heavily toward the under on the total points. Sacramento's shooting slump and back-to-back fatigue, combined with OKC's road inconsistencies, point to a game where the defense will set the tone over the flashy offense.